I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the Oreo Express. Josh here. Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday, February 18th. Thank you for coming in and joining us today. If you would, please share this out. Hit that like button. And don't forget, stop by mypillow.com. Check out some of the great stuff. Free shipping right now, so you don't want to miss that. You'll use promo code Oreo. And it's great deals. And again, with the free shipping, you're saving some great money. You're helping out our platform, and you're also supporting an America First company. How is everybody doing today? We got some things to talk about today, but let me get to the chat first. Karen Sunflower's in the house. Deb V, Hunter. Who else we got in here? Texas Bigfoot, Old Uncle Bill, Pixie, and Nola. Thank you guys for tuning in. We still got folks blaming Trump for a plane crash in Canada. Even Chucky Schumer made a statement about that. I find that really odd, but we're going to talk about that. We're going to see what the White House press secretary's response, and another video was released of the plane crash, so we're going to show you that as well. We also got some woke mind stuff. We got a couple good Republicans with some great comments. The first is just a funny, Kennedy always doing that. We actually have some stuff from RFK Jr. Stating nothing is off the table when it comes to what we are going to be doing to make America healthy again. We just got a bunch of stuff lined up for you today, some border stuff. Remember how Democrats always said that, illegals don't cost us nothing, they pay taxes, which was all a false statement. Again, they have to lie in order to do anything to try to sway those people who don't actually do their own research. We got a whistleblower. I believe this whistleblower, and we'll see this when we cover some of the border stuff, some of the immigration stuff, but this whistleblower talking about how they sign people up, illegals, to get permanent Social Security. And we know that yesterday we covered Elon Musk. There is a system setting at the Social Security Administration, and pretty much it's a true or false when it comes to this system. And they had it where people were showing to be alive at 135 to 145 years old. We're talking millions of people over 120 years old. So we're going to get into some of that today. Once again, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. Trina jumped in there. Susan, Linda, how are you doing, Linda? Thank you guys once again. Yes, old Uncle Bill, Texas Bigfoot. He beat you in here this time. And again, thank you for watching us on the platforms, especially Rumble and Locals, Twitch. I think we're live on Kick too. Thank you all. We appreciate you, and we can't do this without you. Let's start off on this one right here. Listen to this. I love the way he talks.
I've got a lot of friends who are Democrats, and they haven't asked me I'd tell them, look, you just got to try harder not to suck. I mean, think about it. Over the past 4 years, the Democrats mismanaged Congress. They mismanaged COVID. They mismanaged the economy. They mismanaged inflation. They mismanaged the national debt. They mismanaged Afghanistan. More recently, in their opposition to President Trump and Mr. Musk, the Democrats have chosen to support the bureaucrats and the spending porn over the American taxpayer, just like they support illegal immigration over the rule of law, just like they support transgender athletes over women's sports, just like they support Hamas terrorists over Israel. All Democrats are not like this, but the party is controlled right now by people who majored in online activism with a minor in puberty blockers.
Oh, man. He's calling it out like we see it. Again, don't agree with everything that Senator John Kennedy talks about, but he hit the nail on the head on that one, and I just thought that was great. Now, check this out. This is a U.S. senator actively calling for a revolution and to overthrow Trump. Now, I know a lot of stuff went out there about how bad J6 was and how it was planned and all this stuff. All the things the Democrats said that was about January 6th that completely fell right on its face once we received videos and learned about the weaponized DOJ and FBI. Take a listen to this. Take a listen to this.
This is the city of revolutionaries from the American Revolution to create checks and balances in the United States Constitution so that we did not have a dictator, a king, the way those colonists were living under it. And they fought all along Massachusetts Avenue, all coming out, the men and women, to say no taxation without representation. We want to have a balance. We cannot have a king. The American Revolution started here. The revolution of abolitionism started here. The revolution of the suffragette movement started here. The revolution of same-sex marriage started here. The revolution against the war in Vietnam started here. The revolution against Donald Trump and Elon Musk, it starts here in Boston.
The revolution against sitting president starts here. It's interesting. If you look in the background, just the folks that attend these, I guess you call them rallies, the flags that are there. I mean, they literally have I need mental health help flags out there. And they don't realize it. It's just like John Kennedy said, they're doubling down on the things that cause them to lose. And you would think, hey, for one second, let's not look at what some would call the right. Let's not look at what some would call the left. Let's look at what these folks that just go to work, pay their taxes, what do they want? Your average non-political person, I promise you they don't want a boy in their daughter's locker room. I mean, there's no question about that. The average, everyday, mainstream American folk, they want government. They want less taxes. They want government out of their lives. They feel that government has a limited purpose. And again, that's what Donald Trump is doing. And they can't handle it. Check out this. This was from, and you're seeing this resistance and you're seeing who these people are. I love this one here. Let me maximize this a little more to 175 so it's a little bigger on the screen. This was from Libs of TikTok. It says, meet Joanne O'Brien, a school board member from Maine School Administration District 11. It says, Joanne thinks anyone who supports President Trump should be forcefully silenced. Now, again, this is the same group that says Trump's a fascist because he doesn't allow people in the White House press briefing room who just spill nonsense and lies all day. They have 100% of their First Amendment rights. They can go post whatever they want. They just don't get access to certain rooms, just like we don't get access to those rooms. Let's take a look at this woman first. It doesn't surprise you. Look at that. Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. Even got the rainbow heart with the Black Lives fist. And then here's her post. I cannot express how deeply angry I am that during Pride Month, no less, school administrators played whataboutism with fascist. During Pride Month, it is expected that we show ourselves to be allies with the LGBT community by sharing rainbow flags. MAGA's loud, obnoxious parents who support Trump and his policies of destruction, death, and division should have been forcefully shut down. There is no room for coddling those who seek to deprive the rights of citizens, to harass those citizens, and in too many cases, kill them. Again, these are the people, and it's not recent. This is not something we've talked about it. The 60s, the professors at colleges, and how the left did a much better job. Now we've caught up some. We've talked about that, but the left has done a far better job of laying the groundwork and doing the groundwork. They want to shift what we know as education, another reason why the Department of Education needs to be abolished. They've wanted to shift it to more of a social engineering school, boot camp, if you will. And these are the people that just want to shut down the majority of Americans, the 7 swing states, the popular vote. And they don't know how to deal with it, but they are being exposed, and slowly but surely things are happening. Here's another one from Libs of TikTok. Justin Dunmeyer, interim chair for the faculty and professor at Frostburg State in Maryland, sent an email to staff that the university has passed a resolution to push radical gender policies in response to Trump's executive order defending women's rights and banning biological men in women's sports. And when I show you the picture, he looks exactly like you would expect. The school will continue to promote the use of made-up pronouns and will continue to allow men in women's restrooms. Let's show this person off. Oh, there we go. Let's see. There we go. We got it on the screen now. Now, check this out. This is the actual email, and we'll read the highlighted part because I guess this is the fight now. It says, whereas policies protecting transgender, intersex, and non-binary individuals, such as preferred pronouns, use and preferred facility uses has not been changed within the University of Maryland system or at Frostburg State University. I love it because they're in the FA stage now, full around, and they're going to get to the FO stage, which is they're going to find out. It's just great. And they're doing a lot, guys. So we have an actual task for you all. I want to show you this, this screenshot and what you need to do. It says, first collective action, historian Heather Cox Richardson, an economic blackout for 24 hours, Friday, February 28, 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. Families, friends, and acquaintances turn off the economy. Show who really holds the power. What can you do? Buy only essentials, absolute necessities, food, medicine, and emergency supplies. But the goal is to buy nothing. If you must spend, only support small and local businesses. Spread this message. Email friends everywhere. Post on social media. Share documents. Why? Corporation banks only care about their sacred bottom line. You can disrupt the economy just for one day. To send a powerful message, if they fail to listen, the next blackout will be longer. Make history together. February 28th, 24-hour economic blackout begins. That's from Heather Cox Richardson. It says, do not purchase in store, online, no Amazon, Walmart, Best Buy, nowhere. No fast food, no gas, no major retailers, no credit or debit cards are non-essential spending. We can do this together. So I'm holding off all my shopping till February 28th, and I'm going to ask you guys to do that too. If there's something you're going to pick up, what was the date today? Today is the 18th. Obviously, don't go without buying groceries, but it would be great that the February 28th, there was a spike in sales. So I was thinking about this when I read this. And we got Caden's birthday party coming up. And so we were going to go buy some party favors and stuff here this week. And I was like, you know what? We're going to wait for February 28th. And we're going to lump all our purchases together. And so hopefully you guys could do that too. We'll see how that works out for them. And I promise you on the 28th, or it's not leap year, so I don't think. So March 1st, we will be not hearing about this at all because it has no impact on the economy. But I love the way they try to do this. Patty Voss says February 28th is shopping day. Yes, we need to get this. Naomi C76 says shopping for everything on February 28th. Just doing our part, right? Stimulate the economy, support reality. Now, I'm going to show you the next one. This was sent to me a couple days ago from a group of local patriots. We've talked about Democrats calling for action, calling for violence, taking weapons into the street. We've talked about all that. It's very similar to what we've seen in 2016. Remember, we used to cover constantly folks in MAGA hats being assaulted, even kids in a Whataburger in Texas. We could go back and show you hours of video. And the media is justifying this. They are justifying hate towards folks that voted for Donald Trump, anybody wearing a MAGA hat, anybody, I mean, in reality, anybody sporting the American flag. And so I'm going to show you some video or some pictures here, about 8 pictures. One of our patriots in Santa Cruz, California, practically had his truck destroyed. And this is a post I put out yesterday. It says Santa Cruz, California, truck owned by disabled veteran destroyed in Santa Cruz, California. The windows were shattered, tires slashed, headlights bashed out, F Trump spray painted on the entire truck. This was all because of a Trump bumper sticker on the rear window. It says Democrats continue to call for violence along with legacy media justifying hate towards conservatives. I want to pull this up and show you some of these pictures. If you look at all that, they have their little anarchist spray painted on the side too. All the tires are slashed. If you can't see that, all the tires are slashed. Again, you see the disabled veteran plate, and you see that Trump bumper sticker in the back. And we got a couple more to show you. And again, this is, we're going to see more of this. We're going to see more of this. And what they want to do, and they were successful in the first term. I can't tell you how many times we always wore MAGA stuff every day. We were out. We were showing support for President Trump. We were letting others know, hey, it's okay. And I can't tell you how many people, it's so much different today than it was then, because there was a lot of supporters. But you know what? They would come up, get close to you, and whisper in your ear, love your hat, man. Love your hat. Or make sure you are away from people and come up and talk to you like, oh, yeah, where'd you get that shirt at? Oh, I wish I could wear one of those. And things changed. Things changed. There is a large support of folks out there. And so what they want you to do is go back in hiding and, again, what do? Quite the opposite. You go to more rallies, you show up, you get involved in city council, board of supervisors. Here's the tires slashed in this one. Fascist. You see the headlights broken out. F Trump. And this is where we are, guys. This is where we are right now. And again, and we're going to talk about some fake news here in a little bit, but it's just, it's sad. It's beyond sad. We've had our car vandalized 2 times. Actually more than 2, but to where it was pretty bad 2 times. And again, it's always the far reaching people that support this. Men in women's locker rooms, these men in girls' bathrooms, and it's just unfortunate. Speaking of fake news, I love this because we're going to show you what this guy's talking about. You guys know what he's talking about. This is Tim Burchett, and he just absolutely demolishes CNN today or yesterday. I'm not sure what time it says, but listen to this, and I want you to watch the CNN reporter's face.
Hold on. I want to go to this question because, again, it's not a question of whether waste should be rooted out of the government. So many people agree with that. But now we're seeing it's the way it's being done. The government is trying to claw back several employees who oversaw nuclear weapons after they were fired. They realized, oh, we made a mistake. We need staffers who oversee nuclear weapons. A professor at the University of Maryland, Don Kettle, who specializes in civil service, told the Washington Post that, yes, the government is likely full of wasteful bloat, but said a clumsy fix is worse than no fix at all, saying it's like going to a meat market, getting a piece of steak and trying to cut out the fat with a sledgehammer. That would only make a mess of the meat. Do you think, Congressman, that is a fair point, that the way this is being done is clumsy rather than methodical?
Again, you're upset about you're attacking the message carrier, not the results. You talk about nuclear secrets. You had a person who was in charge of nuclear secrets, a man who dressed up as a woman, would go into the airport and steal women's luggage, was overseeing those nuclear secrets under the Biden administration. And I never heard y'all say a peep about that. Again, man,
I don't know anything about that. I'll be transparent.
Elon Musk, you need to look it up. It's all over the internet. It's all over. He was uncharged.
But the question is, this is unrelated to the people overseeing nuclear weapons being fired. And Elon Musk himself said, we're moving so fast. Of course, there will be mistakes. The question is, some of these mistakes are really high stakes. Accidentally firing people overseeing nuclear weapons. Do you see that point?
Humans will make mistakes, ma'am, but currently these are bloated programs. You have no-show employees that are angry that they're having to go back to work, that they've moved, and they're not.
No one's disagreeing. There's bloat and waste.
Jobs were.
Look at her
face.
One's
disagreeing.
Well, then why are y'all not exposing it? Have y'all even talked about, hey, Mozambique? We sent them $10 million for circumcisions. Okay. I mean, goodness gracious, ma'am. Americans are paying.
We've been covering at length
salaries.
Where the money is going to.
No, you haven't. All y'all do is run down Elon Musk and Donald Trump, and you continuously do this, and that's why your ratings are in the tank, ma'am. All
right, Congressman Tim Burchett, we're going to leave it there. I do appreciate your time.
That's why your ratings are in the tank, are sending $10 million for circumcisions. And then she had the goal to say, oh, we've been covering it extensively. Now, again, CNN is claiming that they don't know about the man who dressed as a woman. But we're going to show you some of that just in case you forgot.
Everybody else. Oneself isn't necessarily hindered, but is rather celebrated. I'm a gender fluid individual who walks the halls of Congress. Talk about the power of being free every day to hear my stilettos click on those marble floors and yet know that I deserve to be in that room just as much as anybody else.
And so what he's talking about is this person went on a stealing spree for years. would go into airports and steal women's luggage, so much so a woman seen a picture of him and ended up suing him because those are the clothes that he stole 4 or 5 years ago. Now, granted, this person was in charge of our nuclear waste, folks. When they say, oh, this person is not qualified, this person's not qualified, CNN didn't cover this. Why?
The case was at a standstill until a comment. Did you do this, though? Did you steal the luggage?
We have no comment at this time.
There was an active warrant for Britton for more than 5 days after Metro Police say Britton was caught on camera stealing luggage for a second time.
So the court will go along with the agreement and set bail in the amount of $15,000.
Britton was a deputy assistant secretary at the Department of Energy. Earlier this week, the department confirmed they're no longer an employee there, though. Britton considered non-binary, so using the pronouns they and them. Metro Police say Britton stole luggage from Harry Reid International Airport valued at about $3,700 in July. The case was at a standstill until police say they saw news stories about a similar allegation in Minneapolis. That case is also ongoing.
There was a mention of another case.
CNN doesn't know anything about the people that Biden had in charge of the nuclear waste here in the United States. And it's just great. I honestly had to watch that CNN thing 3 times while I was prepping the show here. And good for him. Good for him. And that's why your ratings are in the tank. You're not covering the waste, the fraud, the abuse. You're not covering any of this. It's attack Elon. You got Elon derangement syndrome. Attack Trump. You got Trump derangement syndrome. And these folks don't have a clue what's going on. And again, it is why America is failing. And there is no standards to reporting anymore. And it's unfortunate. Now, I want you to watch this. There is some good things because, again, remember RFK Jr.? He's not qualified. I guess he wasn't qualified because he didn't steal luggage, wear high heels and dresses inside the White House. But take a look at what RFK Jr. said, and I think this is great news. This is the kind of stuff we wanted to hear. Talks about some of the things that Trump said, what they're going to do. Take a listen here. Oh, let me see. Got to get audio up here. I don't know why. Let me see. Audio kicked off. Let's see. Let me try this.
Signed an executive order to establish the MAHA. Last Thursday, President Trump signed an executive order to establish the MAHA Commission to study what has caused the precipitous decline in American health over the past 2 generations. So we will convene representatives of all viewpoints to study the causes for the drastic rise in chronic disease. Some of the possible factors we will investigate were formerly taboo or insufficiently scrutinized. The childhood vaccine schedule, electromagnetic radiation, glyphosate, other pesticides, ultra-processed foods, artificial food additives, SSRI and other psychiatric drugs, PFAs, PFOAs, microplastics. Nothing is going to be off limits. Whatever belief,
you hear that right there? Nothing is going to be off limits.
For suspicion I have expressed in the past, I'm willing to subject them all to the scrutiny of unbiased science. That is going to be our template, unbiased science. That's something that will make us all proud of this agency and of our role in restoring American health. Let's commission research that will satisfy all the stakeholders once and for all. Let's use protocols that we all agree on in advance and not alter the outcomes of studies when they're halfway through and that they look inconvenient. Let's all depoliticize these issues and reestablish a common ground for action and renew the search for existential truth with no political impediments and no preconceptions.
I just love what's going on here. And like he said, the days of getting halfway through one of their tests and saying, we'll just say it's great, even though we're showing, right? I mean, this is very reminiscent of COVID, where, it wasn't tested. It didn't perform well on anything. They did very minimal tests and they said, hey, the COVID vaccine safe and secure. If you get this, you will not get COVID. You will not be able to spread it. And it only took some real scientists to say, hey, this isn't right. But those scientists were shut down. Those scientists were canceled off social media because they didn't want you to know real science. And when he talks about the SSRIs, we've talked about the SSRIs. When we talk about, and we bring this up when it comes to school shootings, when they want to hide something, like what medicines were these kids on? And again, a lot of times there's rumors or there's confirmations that, again, they were on SSRIs. This man is going after everything. And I don't think we could be more thankful that we're getting America back on track to some health. And again, that was one of his nominations. Another nomination, Lee Zeldin, and we've covered this, but he gives a little brief description of this. I want you to listen to what some of the money, the $20 billion, remember, was it O'Keefe Media Group or another one that caught one of the staffers for EPA saying it was like throwing gold bars off the Titanic, just pushing the money out? Listen to what Lee Zeldin said about that.
And they were amending these account control agreements right up.
This is why Democrats are panicking.
Tell us about this $20 billion that you found stashed. And as we were chatting on the elevator, you said it was done in such a way that made oversight nearly impossible.
That's right. So starting September 18th of 2024, there was a financial agent agreement that was entered into between the Biden Treasury Department and this outside bank. After that, there were additional agreements, an account control agreement, amended account control agreement. The dates show this rush. It was actually on Election Day, November 5th, that the General Counsel's office was providing a legal opinion on it. And they were amending these account control agreements right up to the week before inauguration. Now, $20 billion going out the door up front should be a big red flag, because what makes so much more sense is that if somebody is going to receive a grant, that they are doing work and then they're coming back and they're asking for the next tranche of money, as opposed to just fronting all of it. Now, what's crazy about these different agreements that I've read through over the course of the last few days is that they deliberately, in writing, make sure that they are drastically reducing accountability and oversight by the EPA, by government. I want EPA to be in possession of the funding and have control and oversight of the funding, but that was relinquished. So the whole scheme was something that was extremely irresponsible before you even get started at analyzing each individual recipient.
So these protests we were watching yesterday, and thank you so much for being here. Good.
So again, when they talk about 20 billion being thrown off the Titanic, and again, we probably wouldn't even know about this if it wasn't for independent journalism, undercover journalism. But he said that, this is a fraud. This is a fraud on the American people. This again, and we're seeing this time and time again. We actually have just a little news story at the end that we covered. I think it was $20 billion. Remember when we were in Charleroi, Pennsylvania, and some of these places with the Haitians and places that we had traveled to, and we're like, where are they getting the money for these cars? Blah, blah, blah. Well, $20 billion went to these folks, not American citizens, went to these folks for buying homes, for buying vehicles. And again, this is why Democrats are in panic mode, just absolute panic mode. Check this out. This was from Kyle Becker. Now, I can't remember who it was that put this up here. I think it was, I'll have to think about it. But this right here, it says SCOTUS, Supreme Court of the United States, Chief Justice John Roberts has just issued an order for the fired special counsel at the Treasury Department to respond to the Trump administration's emergency application for stay and vacating of the case. The Trump administration has argued that it is ultimate authority over the hiring and firing of officials in the executive branch. So remember, we have Democrats and these people suing, saying, oh, you can't fire these people. That's who it was. That's who it was. Let me pull this up while we do this. I seen it over the weekend, and I probably did bookmark it, but I forgot. Here we go. Let's see. Sean Spicer put out a tweet. He does a lot. So is this it? So the Biden administration actually did the same thing Trump's doing to Sean Spicer. And I'm going to pull this up because Sean says something interesting. Let's see, what's the date? This is, should have had all this. I didn't even think about bringing this up, but it does refer to this. But it shows that Joe Biden set precedents on this. And again, it came back to bite him. Let's see. Give me 1 second. So here's one of his things. So this is one of it. It says, you're fired. Joe Biden fired all of Trump's appointees to service academies, West Point, Annapolis, and Air Force for the first time in history. So again, Democrats are screaming that it can't be done. But there's another one here from Sean Spicer. It says, we said at the time it was going to be a mistake Biden regretted. Now President Trump reaps the benefit of the court decision. And it says, after President Joe Biden fired Sean Spicer from Naval Academy Advisor Board in 2021, Spicer sued the president and lost the case. But the loss provided a legal standing for presidents to make such decisions, as seen in President Trump's actions at the Kennedy Center. So let me go back to this right here. It says, and this is from Chief Justice John Roberts, in the last 5 years, this court has twice held that restrictions on the president's authority to remove principal officers who serve as the sole heads of executive agencies violate Article 2. In those cases, the single heads of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and the Federal Housing Finance Agency, whatever the agency, for the president to discharge his constitutional duty to supervise those who exercise executive power on his behalf, the president can remove the head of an agency with a single top officer. Now, we've been seeing that Democrats are saying this is unconstitutional, that you just can't go in there and do this. And you see a lot of lawsuits that we covered. Well, it goes to show you that it can be done and it will be done, and the Biden administration did it. Patty Voss says, love RFK Jr. He cares about the people. Patty Voss, thank you for the Rumble rant. Thank you for supporting us over here at Oreo Express and keeping the platform going. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. Now, here's another one I seen pop up today. Ian Omar has been removed from a House committee. Check this out. And look at these votes. It says remove Rep. Omar from Foreign Affairs Committee. Republicans 218. Democrats 211.
On this vote, the ayes are 218, the nays are 211, with one answering present. The resolution is adopted.
Now there has been, and we're not going to cover it today. We don't have time in the story, but there was somebody who has put a bill forward. More and more stuff's coming out about how Ilhan Omar, the Hamas supporter, gained citizenship in the United States by marrying her brother, which is illegal. Again, these people should not be acting as elected leaders, elected officials. And there's calls for to deport Ilhan Omar, and I would support that 100%. She is anti-American. She does not pledge allegiance to this country. The last place she should be is in an elected position. So I thought that was great news that remove Rep. Omar from Foreign Affairs Committee. And again, I don't know who the one who voted, the Republican who voted present, and the three who did not vote are. I didn't look at that, but I was celebrating that she is now off that. So that is good news. Greater Toronto Airports Authority President CEO Deborah Flint says 2 passengers remain hospitalized in the crash at the Pearson Airport. Yesterday, we covered the crash. UP Truebreed, you were awesome, Josh. Thank you, UP Truebreed, for, again, supporting the platform, doing everything you guys do. We appreciate you. We can't do it without you, and thank you. We're going to get into it, and we're also going to, we covered it yesterday, the plane crash in Canada. Now some other video came out after our live stream. We're going to share that with you, but listen to this press briefing
to all
really
of the
quick.
passengers impacted. In regards to the accident yesterday, approximately 2:15 p.m., Delta Airlines Flight 4819 from Minneapolis to Toronto, operated by subsidiary Endeavour Air, was involved in a single aircraft accident upon landing at Toronto Pearson. The plane was carrying 4 crew and 76 passengers, among them 22 Canadians. Flight attendants, flight crews, and airport emergency workers and responders mounted a textbook response, reaching the site within minutes and quickly evacuating the passengers. At the time, there were 21 injured passengers, ranging from minor to critical but not life-threatening injuries. A total of 19 passengers went to the local hospitals, with 2 more going to hospitals in the time period after. At this time, Delta Airlines has reported that 19 of those passengers have been released and 2 remain hospitalized. Our thoughts go out to all of the passengers impacted and their families. We have taken great time and care to extend care to each of the passengers that were here after the accident. That includes comfort as
So, again, now that some video is surfaced, we're going to get to here in a second. Listen, yesterday, I think we played CBS trying to, again, what we talk about, misinforming the people that actually watch these shows, but implying that somehow this could be President Trump's fault. Take a listen to this, and then we'll show you the video, and it's clear whose fault it was.
Against the backdrop of massive cuts across the federal government, including at the FAA. Just going to put some up on the screen. Hundreds of FAA employees have been laid off. Going through all the federal agencies. And then beyond the FAA, we have 10% of the CDC workforce, 3,400 at the U.S. Forest Service, 2,200 at the Interior Department.
Beautiful numbers.
At the Department of Energy, 1,000 at the VA.
Yeah, listen, and so far, at least if you kind of look at how Americans, Trump voters in particular, are reacting, so far, this is something that they haven't really been affected by. You do hear from some GOP senators who are in some of these states where they're, public parks, for instance, raising some alarms. But so far, these cuts, because they are directed at federal workers who the right has been expert at demonizing as lazy, as working from home, as costing too much, because they've been demonized. A lot of Americans say, too bad, so sad that they're being axed. We'll see how long that lasts. We'll see if there is any trickle down effect for average Americans.
Too
I just
bad,
want to
so
read what
sad.
Chuck Schumer, the top Democrat in the Senate, said. I'm
Listen.
thankful that everyone in the flight incident in Toronto that took off from Minneapolis is safe, but we keep seeing these incidents day after day. Meanwhile, Trump's doing massive layoffs at the FAA, including safety specialists, and making our skies less and less safe.
So again, insinuating that Trump had something to do with that when we know that there was nothing to do with that. Let's take a look at the actual plane that came down and what it looks like here. Let me pull this up. This is actual video of the plane coming down. I mean, it came down so hard it broke the landing gear off. This is not a smooth landing by any stretch.
1, 2, 3, oh, fuck. Oh, no, 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 no. Sorry.
Back it up here.
Oh. Oh.
So, again, that had nothing to do with anything. Obviously, it landed in Canada. I know they want to blame Trump for everything, and that's what they're doing. I mean, you can see that when the only talking point they have on cost is the cost of eggs, and we've covered it plenty of times that the Biden administration spent billions of dollars killing chickens. And they want to know why the price of eggs are so high. Now Trump has to go in there and clean up Biden's mess. Now, listening to the White House press secretary, Carolyn, and see what she has to say about this, because she's going to go scorched
The
earth.
FAA was still responsible for inspecting the
operate.
All right. Well, let's come back to the plane crash in Toronto that happened yesterday, and the fact that the finger of blame at the president. I'm not quite sure how you make that connection when the crash occurred in a different country. But here's what Chuck Schumer said. He said, quote, to those asking whether it matters that the plane's destination was in Canada, the flight took off from Minneapolis. The FAA was still responsible for inspecting the aviation equipment, and Trump just let go of FAA safety specialists. We have no idea what caused this crash. We have some video of it coming in for a hard landing, but we don't know if it was a failure of equipment or if it was weather, if it was pilot error, if it was something else. And yet you get the minority leader in the Senate immediately pointing fingers at the president. Your response?
It's incredibly irresponsible for Chuck Schumer to say such a thing when the investigation is still underway. And as you rightfully pointed out, John, this crash unfortunately took place in Canadian airspace with Canadian air traffic controllers overseeing it. And the facts about the FAA are that no air traffic controllers have been let go by Secretary Duffy or this new administration. In fact, Secretary Duffy has put great emphasis on hiring the best and the brightest air traffic controllers who want to be part of the FAA, and President Trump signed a very strong executive order to ensure that the FAA and all federal government agencies are focused on merit and skill-based hiring. We want the best and the brightest, the most competent individuals in positions, especially of public safety at the FAA, the Department of Transportation, and all departments across this federal government, so we can best serve the American people. So while Secretary Buttigieg and the Biden administration sat on their hands when it came to aviation safety for 4 years, this administration is taking it seriously and is actively recruiting the best and the brightest to join this very important field.
Caroline, we know that Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, is
love it. They're trying everything they can, folks, and it's just not working. It's just not working. And the American people see through this. I mean, CNN, MSNBC, they have a very small viewership. They get clowned on all the time. They were the ones that continually worked as an arm of the Democrat Party, whether it was Russia, whether it was the classified documents. Their job was to destroy conservatives. Their job was to do all this, and it's just sad. Really quick, let's go into this really quick. Let's put this up here. Let's check it out. So, guys, on the screen right now is Be Naked. In today's society, it's tough to be a man in the world dominated by overly masculine liberal women. That's just not how it's meant to be. Everywhere we look, it's gender neutral. This product are made for her, that product. That is why we started a company that embodies the ethos of men's lives matter too. With products that aren't designed to be gender neutral, are used by people with pronouns, or products at Rumble are designed and built for men by men, period. It says, so if you struggle with low energy, mood swings, or hair loss, or if you need to perform better at the gym, maybe in bed, and recover quicker after, throw out all your other garbage supplements and try animal organs. They are traditionally the most nutrient-rich supplements on the planet, but our bison organs are a step above. The grass-fed, non-vaccinated bisons are a special species where the weak are allowed to die and only the strongest survive. So here's our commitment to you from men who have real confidence in their products. Try this today, and if you don't like it, fine. Return it for a refund. Go to benaked.com. Use code STUDIO and get 15% off today. So if you guys want to try that out, benaked.com and use code STUDIO and get 15% off. So we're going to move on here. Let's see what else we got today. Man, they are really going after Mayor Eric Adams. They're doing the same thing to Eric Adams that they did to Joe Biden. They're trying to get him out of office, trying to pull a coup. And the greatest thing is the people that they're using, race baiter himself, Al Sharpton. Take a look at this picture with Al Sharpton meeting with Governor Kathy Hochul. They are actually meeting to determine the fate of Mayor Eric Adams. The far left want Mayor Eric Adams gone. We've covered this story extensively over the time that it's been going on. The second that Mayor Eric Adams said, we cannot handle this invasion going on in New York City will never be the same. We need some help. We just can't go any further. It's costing, we're having to, this is costing taxpayer money. Now the far left is upset that he is going to be working with ICE to deport violent criminals. And so Kathy Hochul is in there. Take a listen to that was in the wrong spot, darn it. Oh well. Take a listen to this race traitor, race baiter, this who knows.
Again, this is not about a friendship. This is about, I'm going to stand up for what I believe. I've had friends that I campaigned against. This is about what is right and what's going to be a precedent.
Reverend, if the charges are dropped, do you think that the governor could still seek the mayor's removal, even if the charges are dropped tomorrow?
Again, I just said that there are two ways, I understand, whether or not there's a crime or whether there's enough of an outcry of the city or a given city that you've lost the public trust. And the question is, if there's no crime and you go to public trust, how do we gauge the public trust?
Reverend, she could ask him to resign. Should she do that?
You should ask her that.
What do you think?
What I thought, I told the governor.
Right now, was this a political or? Thank you very much.
The Bibleist preacher right there, guys. So again, they want to punish him. they want to punish him. I think there was another story, 4 of his, let's see if I have it up. I don't think I do. No, oh, yes. 4 deputy mayors resigned just recently. And New York City Comptroller Brad Lander sent a letter to Eric Adams threatening to remove him as mayor after Adams says he will work with Trump on deportations, and 4 deputy mayors resigned. Now, do you guys know who this Comptroller Brad Lander is? Here, Libs of TikTok put a little video up if you don't know who he is.
I love you, bro. DJ.
So that's the one that is threatening Mayor Eric Adams. And again, I'm not a fan of Eric Adams. There's a lot of policies that I've disagreed with. We've been hard on him over the years. But this is the same thing they went after Trump for. If he's putting New York City first, and if you notice, when the race baiter stated that there was 2 ways to do it, if he did something where he broke the law, or if there wasn't public trust. So what you're going to see now is you're going to not see grassroots activists. You're going to see money funneled to the streets of New York City to protest Mayor Eric Adams. Mark my words, there will be large protests. They won't be grassroots, and they're going to try to use that as the people of New York, even though a lot of those protesters will come from outside of New York, they will try to use that to get rid of New York Mayor Eric Adams. You wait and see. You mark my words. It's coming. Another person that I thought was interesting, and we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this, but the head of the criminal division of the U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington, D.C. has resigned her post in the latest string of Justice Department officials to leave under the Trump administration. Now, these people, there's a reason why these people are leaving. It's because with Doge and all the investigations going on, they wouldn't be able to keep their job in the first place, and they need time to get with their attorney. They need time to start their defense, because what they were doing with your tax dollars in the Department of Justice, when they weaponized the Department of Justice and went after that, they weren't worried about your safety. They weren't worried about the things that they're paid to do. They politicized everything, and now they're dropping like flies. I love it. We talked about this months ago when Elon Musk stated, you don't have to fire him. What did he say? You forced him to come back to the office. Many of them have other jobs. Many of them weren't working anyways. They're not going to come back. They're going to have to quit. And now they're getting fired. That was only after Trump offered them an 8-month severance package. They had an opportunity. Listen to this. This is Boston Police Department Commissioner Michael Cox, who is a Mayor Wu appointee, went on the news to announce he will not work with ICE on detaining illegal aliens charged with crimes. Now, he's not saying the person working, he's not saying those people that have followed the law. He will not work with ICE on detaining illegal aliens that have broken the law. Take a listen.
The Boston Police Department has pretty defined rules set by the law.
Let me refresh this.
Immigration status. The Boston Police Department has pretty defined rules set by the law, and we abide by the law here in the state, and we don't enforce civil detainers regarding federal immigration law. It's defined here in the state, and that's just how it works.
Well, you've lined up the state. How do you navigate the difference between the state, the city of Boston, and Washington, D.C.?
And so I can't, it's hard enough to run the Boston Police Department. I could never fathom, running outside of that. So I do know this. Our officers are, abide by the laws here in the state and certainly the city ordinance in the city of Boston. We don't have authority to enforce federal immigration law. And so from our perspective and what we tell anyone who comes to visit our city, lives in our city, is that we don't care about your immigration status. In the Boston Police Department has pretty defined rules.
They're going to find out as well. And again, that there's going to be people held accountable. There's going to be people held accountable. Secretary Kristi Noem said that they're going to do a massive ad campaign. I'll let you listen to the video here.
These people are self-deporting.
These people
Thank you.
on the left are just upset. They want their tax dollars, instead of going to securing this country, getting illegals out, they want them to go to transgender operas and circumcisions for people in other countries. Take a look at this here.
For previewing that ad. Those ads will be running not only in the country, but also internationally, all around the world, telling people that we are a nation of laws. Don't come to America if you plan to break our laws and if you don't plan to come legally.
What kind of evidence are you seeing so far that these caravans have stopped, these people are self-deporting, and this thing's kicked into high gear?
Yeah, it's been incredible to see the numbers trickle down almost to zero. We are talking less than a couple of hundred of people that we're encountering a day, when it was literally over 10, 11,000 under Joe Biden. So it's been remarkable just what President Trump has been able to accomplish in these first few weeks of his administration. And remember, Jesse, one of the things that a lot of those news reporters don't want to talk about is the fact that President Trump doesn't have all of his people in place yet today. He doesn't have all of his team leading all of these agencies. He needs to get them confirmed and in place so that they can be a part of the solution. But seeing that flow slow down has been incredible. And the message that we're sending to the rest of the world through these commercials and through this marketing campaign is, don't come here. We don't want illegals. We don't want criminals. That America is a place where you come to pursue the American dream, and that this president will always put Americans first.
Always put Americans first. Amen to that. God bless Donald Trump. God bless his nominees. And there is some things I'm going to check on here in a minute, but there could be in about an hour and a half, possibly a confirmation vote on Kash Patel. If that is the case, we will cover that live. I have to double check to make sure it's the vote and not them playing their games of going back and forth after they already know how they're going to do. So the Post-Millennial posted this: Biden admin spent $20 billion on cars, home loans, and other services for migrants. You read that right. I want to pull this up really quick and give you a brief detail on the Post-Millennial. We have talked about this before, and it says the Department of Health and Human Services, imagine that, and I'll pull this up for you, spent $20 billion on grants going to migrants in the years of former President Joe Biden's presidency, which saw a record number of illegal immigration in the United States. The taxpayer-funded assistance was used to help purchase cars, homes, as well as loans for startup businesses, among other services in the United States, according to the New York Post. The Office of Refugee Resettlement at HHS handed out around $20 billion to nonprofits and NGOs in the fiscal years of 2021 through 2024, in what the outlet said was a giant magnet for those crossing the border and claiming asylum. And we talked about it yesterday. The ones where Ginger was working, Jewish Family Services officially shut down in San Diego. Their hub, their human trafficking hub. If you missed that, go check out yesterday's first live stream. We did two yesterday. It was in the first live stream. And the gravy train's drying up, if you will, guys. Again, we are the most generous nation on this planet. We want to continue being the most generous nation on this planet. There's ways to go about that. There's also ways to fund things that actually help other countries, but we got to work on America first. Again, that old saying, don't poke Don't poke at somebody else's backyard when yours isn't clean. Now, I want you to watch this video. This was from Wall Street Apes. It says whistleblower. They were incentivized to qualify illegals for long-term disability, to qualify illegals for Social Security for life. So they were set for life. This is a whistleblower. Take a listen to this. And this is what investigations will uncover, guys. Take a listen. This is crazy.
They wanted us to try to identify them in such a way that they would qualify for long-term Social Security. Now,
What?
Yeah. And long-term Social Security disability is for life.
Yeah.
So if they get identified and qualify for long-term Social Security disability, they are as good as set up for life for medical treatment.
That doesn't sound like a refugee to me. Just being honest.
Yeah.
That sounds like somebody who's planning on staying here.
Yeah,
A refugee
right.
stays until the problem's over and then goes home.
Well, that's right. And so they instructed us to try to identify, to try to get the client, because once they arrive here, they're now called clients.
They're called clients.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because clients pay.
Sure.
See?
Sure. I'm starting
And
to
so-
see where this is leading here.
So they told us that we needed to talk to the client and ask them if they'd had any headaches, recurring headaches, or any lower back problems. Excuse me, anything that would qualify them for Social Security long-term disability.
Wait. So let me get this straight. Part of the screening is supposed to be, are you sick, maimed, injured, whatever?
Right.
No. Okay, good. You can come in.
Yeah.
You get on the airplane. Are you sick, maimed, injured, whatever? Yes. Good. So we can give you disability.
Correct.
What?
Yes.
This is insanity.
Yes, it is insanity.
But in order to get Social Security disability benefits, don't you need a Social Security number?
Well, we were instructed in the meeting that one of the first things we were supposed to do was sign them up for Social Security. Yeah.
Wait. This is unbelievable. So they come over here and they get a Social Security number.
Right.
They become legal.
Correct.
Are you pulling my leg?
No, I'm not. And then after we processed them for a Social Security card, then we were to process them for a U.S. passport.
No, you're not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's about the time I kind of decided, okay, I was done. I've heard everything I want to know. I was so angry about this, that they would receive a U.S. passport. It just, I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that we were giving these people Social Security cards and U.S. passports and free medical, free housing, free food, free everything.
America last. That's what the Biden
bothered
administration, when we said this was a well-oiled machine, when we were out at the border, we were talking and we specifically told you folks, this is the most well-oiled machine we've ever seen in any department of government, whether if you've dealt with, whether it's our government-ran Medicare systems, whether it's the Department of Motor Vehicles, they all are crap when the government touches something. But when it came to resettling these illegal aliens, they were giving them disability. They were doing everything, keeping them on your taxpayer dole for their entire life. And this is going to get bigger and bigger as things happen. And I can't tell you. We're not even, today is Tuesday, February 18th. I think tomorrow will be officially 30 days that Trump's been in office. And look at everything that's already been uncovered. I know the media is not covering it. I know you're not seeing this breaking on the 5 o'clock news. If Biden saved us billions of dollars, they would be worshiping him. They would put statues up in places. Listen to Stephen Miller right here. This is more on the massive fraud. And again, you won't see this in your local headlines, in your local news, and it's frustrating, guys. This is why legacy media is failing.
To do so if those records are obtained?
Well, as we know, there's a massive amount of fraud in this country. You have For example, foreign fraud rings. These are foreign nationals who come into the United States. They use fake Social Security numbers. They use fake identities to steal billions in taxpayer benefits. There's no way to know until DOJ gains full access exactly how much money we're talking about. But over a 10-year normal budget window, you could be talking about saving over $1 trillion by clamping down on massive fraud in our tax and entitlement systems, including, again, those carried out by organized fraud and theft rings. A very important point in all this is to understand that DOJ are subordinate staffers of the federal government. They are political appointees, just like me, just like everyone else in the White House, that serve and answer to the president. So we're not talking about an outside private entity. We're talking about the existing federal staff of the federal government performing their statutory and constitutional duty.
A lot of money there, guys. A lot of money. Everything that we said was going on, and we were conspiracy theorists. We were lying for MAGA and everything else. It's all coming up. And watch this next one. This was great. This was Ben Bergquam out there with Border Patrol. And I want you to watch this. I shared it on X. Ben doing some more great reporting from the border. Check this out.
Yeah, that's definitely a dump spot. So they'll come down here, dump some of their clothes, change clothes, and think that Border Patrol won't recognize them when they show up on the trail. No, sometimes they'll actually try to walk in down the trail like they're locals just up here for a hike. It's funny because they're so obvious, you know. I don't know who they'd fool, but definitely doesn't fool Border Patrol. Are they running too?
Yes, bro, they're with them.
So just speaking about the clothes that were left on the trail there, we got a group of 3 illegals coming down here. They were trying to blend in, walking down the trail. Looks like we got 2 more females walking up the trail, pretending like they're just out for a hike. Anthony spooked them and they started running. And now they're trying to run back up. I just sent the coordinates to our Border Patrol contacts. So you can see them going up the hill right there as we speak, trying to run away right here on the trail to Mount Cristo Rey. These guys look like they're trying to get over another spot. I think we should go up this way, Anthony, and cut them off. Let's go check it out.
The women are going back up the other way. Yes, sir. Okay, you got it.
On the main trail, dropping that way. One with an old black. I got it, Brad. Yeah. He's cutting across. Yeah, it's hitting the wash. And there's another in all black up and over. There he is. Come on, stay down. Lay down. We start moving soon. If he goes left, it's perfect. We're gonna follow his trail once we get down. Roger. He's not that far. As soon as he cuts around, as if he saw us, he would jump that mountain. Yeah. Right when we his boy, his other guy, I think the guide is up on top. I think I see him right there. Come on. Ready? I'll follow your lead. All right. Hey, if you ain't bleeding, you ain't working. You know what, dude? It might be better to cut out this. top of the hill. Black. Right here. Is that? He's right here. He's right here. Yeah. Top side. Yeah. 100%. Can we stay low? You go high.
They're going after more. You want to get it?
Roger.
Just think, guys. 30 days ago, that wouldn't have happened. 30 days ago, they would be on the interior of the United States. We don't know what their criminal background is. We don't know what their reason. We don't know if they're drug smugglers, human traffickers. This is incredible to see that Border Patrol is able to finally do their job again. This was an illegal alien deportation flight. A little video. This is beautiful right here. Send them home. Again, you have an administration that's not going to be playing game. That's not going to be doing anything like that. Again, I want to say thank you before I go to my last story. Thank you for everybody who's tuned in, who's hit the like button that helps the algorithm share this out, and anybody who donates to us to keep the platform going, the lights on, the cameras working. We appreciate you, and we want to thank you for that blessing. It's more than appreciative, and thank you so much. But hit that like button. And again, we might be covering Kash Patel confirmation in about an hour and 14 minutes. I got to check some things out, make sure that's what it is, and it's not just more back and forth on the House floor. How many people know this guy? Well, you should know this guy. We've been covering it extensively. With his I voted sticker. That is our good buddy, Benjamin Martin, who is still a January 6th political prisoner. He is being held in Lompoc, California right now. And his family gave an update. He's been, oh, shoot. Hold on one second. Let me pull it back up. I hit the wrong button. And I want to read this update for you. And I'll put it on here. Update from Ben's fiance. I was finally able to see and hug Ben for the first time since January 22nd. Myself, his parents, and 3 of our kids made the 4-hour drive to Lompoc, California. He's been in the dark without communication with anyone since February 13th, since his phone time has been cut off until March 7th. The first question he had was, are there any updates? It was heartbreaking to tell him the same reply. We're working on it. You're not forgotten. So many people are fighting and praying for you. I wish I could have told him it could be any day now. I tried to keep him positive. Heck, I'm trying to keep myself positive. The last 4 years have been awful. He's had his rights and freedom taken away, and I've been right there with him in what feels like purgatory. I can't fathom the possibility that this could continue until 2030, after 38-month sentence, 6 months in a halfway house, and 2 years felony probation. Almost a decade of our life, and for what? An attack by our own government and lawfare against people who simply exercise the First Amendment rights, and an unreasonable, bogus raid on my home. The purpose of the raid was January 6th, the 1512 C2 charge. which was thrown out. This charge is absolutely related to J6. The pardon does apply. Please don't forget about him. Please don't forget about the remaining hostages. Pardon, but not free. Where is Trump? So please say a prayer for Ben Martin, a good local patriot. Again, I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the White House. I know there's a lot of stuff with the nominations and everything, but we need to get Ben out and the other J6 hostages. So take posts like this. Follow him on One Real POV. That's the ONEREAL POV. And share this. Take a screenshot of it. Take it. Tag your local representative. Tag the district or the Attorney General Pam Bondi. Let's make enough noise because I know they will do what's right. We just got to push the issue, guys. Push the issue. Let's see. Old Uncle Bill says, Josh, a question. Let's see. Let me pull it up on my phone really quick. See what's going on. Corndog 55, thank you so much for the Rumble rant. Thank you for keeping us on the air, guys. Without you, we don't do it. Let's see. "5:30 Eastern Time, the Senate will vote on a motion to proceed to executive session for Kash Patel. Then we'll file cloture to put him on the clock. Procedure aside." Yes, so he will not be, there will not be a confirmation today. What's the question, old Uncle Bill? Karma is Coming was gifted a membership. Karmic Energy was gifted a membership. Real sweet. Thank you, old Uncle Bill. Let's see. It's showing it is working, unless you did it more than once. I'm seeing that there was people on the chat that were gifted a membership. J Law Bronco was gifted a membership. Renee says, credit to Ben Berquam. Someone else is just a coattail rider, in my opinion. I couldn't agree with you more. A coattail rider that if you go through their X profile, not once mentioned our J6 political prisoners, even though that person was in there. Freedom Rider 1776 was gifted a membership. I think it's working, Bill. Yeah, I'm showing multiple people were that Freedom Rider 1776, UP Tree Brood, Karma's Coming, My Dog Maya. So yeah, it is working. So we got Trina. I didn't see Trina gifted one, but your membership could have been expiring today as well. I'm not sure. I will check that out when we get off here and see. Jan Garner says, dang, still no notification. I'm going to work on that. I was thinking it costs money, but for those that are regulars in here to have a text message system that when we go live, it just sends out a text, but it costs per person. That's something we're going to look at in the future. It's not showing up in the chat like it usually does. That's weird. It might be an error with Rumble, but it showed up in my chat. I am not on. Am I on that? No, I am on the web version through Safari. So I am not on the app. I don't know if that makes a difference or not. Josh, when is the next road trip? Have you checked on going a ride along with ICE? We've checked into some things. As far as going on the road, we're waiting for some things to come up here in California. We might be on the road this weekend, not for a live stream, but we're going to incorporate a live stream with it. There's some stuff going on. I won't tell you in which area we're going to be in, but stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for at least some protest or some other action. I want to thank you all for being here. If there's enough news to cover, we will be around for a second live stream in a few hours. And once again, if you guys want to help out, on the bottom is our Venmo. Venmo is Oreo Josh. Our GiveSendGo is givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. And our Cash App is $Oreo Army. We want to say thank you all for the blessings. We can't do it without you. And if you do use Zelle, you can go to our website, theoreoexpress.com. There's a donate now button. And there's also this stuff here, which is our shop. Let me pull this up. This also helps the platform and helps pay for some of the services that, let's see, it's loading up right now. It's always slower on my end for some. Corn Dog gets notifications. Yeah, some people do and some people don't. I don't know. I don't know. But we have stuff like the More Ice Please shirt. We'll be wearing that probably by the end of the week. Our inauguration, the ending of a nightmare shirts. We have so much stuff on our website. And all you got to do is go to theoreoexpress.com/shop. Once again, thank you everyone for tuning in. Hit that like button on your way out if you haven't yet. And we will see you guys here probably in a few hours. I'm pretty sure there'll be some stuff going on. God bless y'all.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free.